brighter light. Inner circles here where voices thrive. Turn on your screens, let the magic unfold. Listening and healing as stories are told. Come one, come all, this is your time. No topics too tough, just heed the calls. From mental health woes to justice we seek. Together we rise for the strong and the meek. A safe space for all, let's lift every voice. Inner Circle podcast where hearts unite. Sharing our truths, bringing hope to the light. Community strong, we're never alone. Together as one, we've created a home. With laughter and love, we break down the walls. No topics too tough, just heed the calls. From mental health woes to justice we seek. Together we rise for the strong and the meek. A safe space for all, let's lift every voice. So join the conversation, let's set the tone. Inner Circle podcast where love is well known.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Inner Circle podcast. Today is Monday, March 9th, and today is our entertainment segment. And tonight we'll be discussing from hype to reality what really makes an entertainment venue successful. You know, all these venues we have around, what makes a venue successful? I had a unique experience this weekend, so you know, so I'm your host.
Got it, Abe.
I'm your host, Abe Kamara, and I'm here with my co-host, Miss B. Miss B, welcome to the show.
Good evening, everyone. It's the girl, Miss B. Happy to be here this evening. Let's talk about it, Abe.
Yeah. So, folks, you can join the conversation by putting a comment in the chat. Calling our number 763-349-0754. That's our new number. That's our official new number. So get that down, and you can also put a comment in the chat. Follow us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, on X, or Twitter, or Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. So, Miss B, how was your weekend?
My weekend was good. It's always something going on in my life, I guess, or activities happening in the community. So this weekend was the convention. It was the 2026 SD38 convention. And so during the convention, we had two candidates running for House representative for the district. So Representative Hulda Hitzley is running for re-election. And her opponent, Winfred Russell, is running again, against her again, the second time. And they both decided that they were not going to get and seek an endorsement, that their campaign decision will be made at the primaries, and they'll let community decide. Well, first time candidate, Nehemiah Garley, who's running for Senate seat. So there's a House and then there's a Senate. He's running for the Senate seat for SD 38. And he's running against the incumbent, Susan Pa. So Susan Pa was first elected to Brooklyn Park City Council in 2016. And then in 2022, she ran for the Senate seat. And Chris Eaton previously had held that seat for a long time. And so Chris Eaton decided she wasn't going to run for a re-election. And so Susan Pa ran for the seat in 2022. And, you know, for folks who don't know, Huda ran for the seat against her. And Suzanne never received the endorsement then. But, you know, for her, she went and won the seat anyways. So mind you, she comes back again to seek endorsement, and she was unsuccessful. Nehemiah Garley has never ran for office before. This is his first time running for office. And he's just been doing the groundwork, laying the groundwork. He had a good showing at caucus. The convention was I'm trying to be nice about it, but some people might say a shit show because he had a lot of challenges from the opponent. The opponent was challenging the people who had showed up on February 3rd in the midst of Metro Surge in the cold weather in Minnesota. I remember I shared with you, Abe, that folks turned out in record numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and she had the audacity, the incumbent, to challenge his people, saying that they went to people's homes and people were saying that they didn't live there. Went and far and did court record investigations to make sure that people really lived in the district that were showing up to be a delegate. And mind you, anybody can be a delegate, and you don't even have to be a citizen to be a delegate, right? You just have to live in the district. People move, things happen. And so they challenge his people. And the only reason you would want to challenge this is because you want to lessen the amount of delegates that he has to get the endorsements. And so they challenge his delegates, and to the point where challenge and making up stuff. One of the people that were challenged was there. She showed up to be a delegate. And they said they originally said they were challenging her because they went to her home, and her ex-husband said she no longer lives there. The woman said that's a lie. I saw her ID. This woman ID matches her form that she filled out at caucus night. You go to the Hennepin County website. She is the owner of this home, and she's there in person with her ID, telling you that she lives there, right? And so what they end up doing was passing a motion and say, if anybody who's being challenged right now want to come up and share their ID and show that they live at the address, which legally the DFL is not supposed to ask for people's ID. You are not made to prove this, prove this. However, the challengers came up, and yes, and people could prove with an ID or something that they live at the address. So those challenges were overturned. I don't know if all of them, I didn't follow through, to see. I was just very upset. I got up there and I said, this is disenfranchising our community. This is whiteness happening in this space, right? You're supposed to give people the benefit of the doubt. You don't say, oh, you're challenging people and it's integrity and what have you. And mind you, they will turn around and try to give new people identities. So you have to wear a blue badge once you become a delegate, and blatantly would go to credentials and try to pass off another person's badge to another person. It's like, on one end, you want the fraudulent behavior to work for you, but you want to accuse other people of being fraudulent. We went through 4 rounds from 9 a.m. on Saturday. We were in that Northview Junior High School till 6 p.m. because we only had till 6 p.m. The people said we could only use the place till 6 p.m. Literally up until 6 p.m. after 4 rounds of voting. No endorsement, because you need to have 60%. No endorsement happened, to the point where now we have to find another day and redo all of this again. Nehemiah's team had passed a motion to say, hey, let's forego the endorsement. People have been here long enough. We've been through 4 rounds of voting. Still 60% has not happened. Mind you, with everything they did in that space on Saturday, to the extent where when you're voting, they freeze the floor. So that means everybody who can vote needs to be on the floor. 2 of their people was not on the floor when we froze the floor and we did the vote. They claimed they were outside in the cafeteria area, not in the gymnasium, and the door was locked. So they should be allowed to come back in. We allowed all of that. We allowed the 2 people to vote, add their votes. They went back, they totaled up the votes, still 60%. She did not clinch the endorsement. And we passed a motion, say, let's just go to the primaries. Nobody needs an endorsement. She said no. So therefore, we have to put people through this all over again. Either March 17th, they're trying to find a space for us to hold the convention. And so we can tell the delegates to come back out again to do this all over again. And I'm just like, kudos to Nehemiah. He himself was even challenged. He was challenged as the candidate. His address was challenged. He was challenged to as not living at the place he's supposed to be living. Like, like we do what we were supposed to do. We did the work, right? We got community out on February 3rd. We got community out on a Saturday. And we all know it was a beautiful Saturday. You know, our folks to be in that space for free when they could have been working their doubles, or, everybody was there from 9 a.m. in the morning for free till 6 p.m. at night. That's more than a 8-hour shift, right? And actually, I think the doors opened at 8 a.m. So some people were there even more than that, till 6 p.m. plus, at night, trying to be a part of the process. And you wanted people to not be allowed to be a part of the process. And so we shall see who will get this endorsement.
Wow, what an eventful Saturday, it's like how seeing you Democrats are always you like to eat your own. So seeing you guys for the more yourselves, I guess you guys support voter ID, right? Why you guys be acting that you don't support voter ID? You guys support voter ID because you're for them more yourself for voter ID, and we're trying to and we try to
Exactly.
promote a
Like
voter ID.
overdoing the process. You're
Voter
right.
ID, yeah, you guys just no, 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 it's gonna disenfranchise. What about you guys doing the same thing to each other? I mean, to yourself, right? Well, what a event,
Hypocrite.
what a way to spend your to spend your Saturday. But
Came home,
anyway,
I was so exhausted.
yeah, yeah.
I did nothing but go to sleep. I don't even think I ate that day. I did nothing but go to sleep.
Civic
Yeah,
engagement action. I mean, civic engagement, and that's our top. That's one. That's our focus tomorrow, right? Why we talk about representation? Representation come with participation, right? Is a representation
it
without
does.
participation? You're just talking. You're not really doing anything because
It
again, it was an experience I had on Saturday. No, on Friday for me. That's what I said. But talk about. I hope you said the community show up on a Saturday. I hope they
on a
did.
Saturday.
Yeah, I
They
hope they
showed up
show up.
twice to be a part of this process in record numbers, right?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
showed up on February 3rd and showed up again March 7th, right? And they're gonna show up again I think it's either the 17th or the 19th. They're trying to figure out what venue is available. But they'll show up again. I'm just saying kudos to the community for coming out and being a part of the process. I mean, a senator came from St. Paul, or a different area. He's like, our conventions are never this festive and exciting.
Yeah, yeah.
We have food, jollof rice, kala, chicken. Our food was there. Our drinks
Yeah.
was there. It was flowing
I
for
think
the
the way I look at Nehemiah, he's a mobilizer. I interacted with
yes,
him at a
yes,
Republican the event that was held 2 Saturdays ago, right? It was a Republican forum. It was organized by the Republican Party of the Northwest suburbs. My little interaction with him, he's a mobilizer. I think he's one of those people. I think if you he can actually make us to have, or the Liberian community, to have a representation because he's a mobilizer.
he is. And he
He's
gets
a
along with everybody. Like you said, he was at that Republican forum. It's just because I feel sometimes there are
but
Republicans
who the
who want to
politician that
support.
cannot get if a politician cannot get along with someone, then they are not a politician though.
Besides that, though, like there are times I know when Republicans want to support Democratic candidates. It's happened before. It happened during Winfrey's campaign to the extent where people
we are
thought Winfrey
we are
was
not
really.
we are not racist as you guys trying to make it to be. Right? We
I
always
am
wish a
saying
person
here, I'm sitting here saying that today. I think I feel like local races are not as divided along party line as maybe like the national races are, because I see it happen here in Brooklyn Park where people will vote based on the person. They will vote based on the candidate and not necessarily the party that the candidate represents. And
yeah.
so he's another one of those folks, like you're saying, that I feel like he could get support on both sides of the aisle.
Yeah,
And I hope that he does.
I'm working on bringing on Nehemiah here. Right? He needs to come. Obviously, as I said, I've interacted with him. Seems to be a good candidate. What I mean, obviously, Democrats are not my cup of tea, but he's one of those Democrat where he's not bad.
He's not bad.
And
He's
he
like,
happen to be and he
and no
happen to be
slander. They have nothing to slander him on. So that's the only thing they could challenge him with is he doesn't live where he's supposed to live.
I know that the man organized the food because he did to that Republican
Oh,
event.
he did.
I know he was the one that organized that food because the man that can cook. That's what he said. That pastor man, or what? That pastor man, yeah, man, that cooking business. So anyway. But we'll try to
Yes.
bring my man on here to, I mean, he's a politician. That's what I can say to that. A lot of
He
people
is.
enter politics, they are not
He is.
politicians, and he does retail politics, right? It's like, which is
Yep.
good. I mean,
Yes.
if you want to win elections, you got to be involved in retail politics. And as I said, right, it was good to see participation because we talk about representation. There's no participation. That's our focus tomorrow here.
Yeah.
Telling our people you can't just request, you can't just demand representation when you're not willing to participate. And there's a election year that our people, if you can't even participate in these local events, comes November, make sure you register and vote. Make sure you register and vote come November because it's very, very important. But
Yeah.
anyway, that
We're gonna
was your
talk more
event.
tomorrow. I'll have more updates.
Yep, that was your eventful weekend with your drama, with your with your drama with your DFL.
Politics drama is
Yeah,
exhausting.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah. So, but anyway, that's good. And then my weekend, man. So Saturday we had a Saku boys. We had a boys' night out. And we decided to go to your spot, right? Casa de Freak.
yay!
Chose Casa de Freak. On Wednesday, I said, okay, what is this? Is this a lounge? Miss B, the place is as tight can
Long.
be, though.
It
You know
is
what I mean? I know.
long.
Yeah, it's like I was in this place. I said, is it? I mean, I was trying to figure out how to describe it. It's like
Okay,
I
forget
wasn't impressed.
size. It was
I wasn't
nice,
impressed.
right?
So I wasn't impressed.
You
I mean,
wasn't? Forget the
no.
size. Just ignore the size.
Okay. What else? What? I wasn't impressed. That's what I'm saying. First of all, I enter the place. What is it? It's like I enter a zinzin. Nothing like a
You cannot
like a takeout
compare.
spot. Honestly, like a takeout spot, right? Like I enter a takeout spot, nowhere to turn, nowhere to sit. It's like the place is too tight, right? And that's why I said, okay, you know what I mean. I know there was a lot of hype regarding it. I mean, when it comes to the reality, right? So what goes into making entertainment venue? What goes into that? You know what I mean? Is that you just pick a spot? Is that, oh yeah, because the community love to party, the community love, the community loves to come out, so I'm just going to open a spot. I know you love to talk about ambience, presentation, but to me, right, is that the location is not bad. That part of Brooklyn Park, I think, right, or that part of the community, or that part of town needs or entertainment, because all of our entertainment venues in pretty much in Brooklyn Center. You know, there's OVO, but I know what OVO is doing these days, right? So the place you open it is not bad, but just must be the size. I was impressed. So guess what we end up doing? We end up going to Jumbo, Jumbo. That's what that's what we ended up. And that's why I said, wow, because the place has had a lot of hype. Oh yeah, Casa Afrique is a new spot in town. Check it out. But the reality must be, I wasn't impressed. So at the end of the day, we end up going to the most popular joint in town right now, right? Among the African immigrant community, like Black immigrant community. It was Ghanaian Independence Weekend, right? And Jambo was doing their thing, but
Was Jumbo packed?
nothing compared to a Liberian Independence Weekend.
And
If it
not
was
even
like,
for Independence Weekend. Like they don't need a holiday to be happening on a Saturday.
no, no,
Normally, Jumbo.
Jambo was always packed, right? And Jambo was packed.
Yeah.
Actually, it was packed. It was packed. You always get the crowd. But I'm saying, right?
Have they done some remodeling to the place?
Jambo is the same Jambo. I'm what
So
so
ambiance
it's a simple
matters.
place. I know you said
Ambiance
ambience
matters.
matters, but you should have let's say if you're gonna pick a bigger spot, then maybe I
Are
was
we
gonna
are we
do that.
getting into the topic now? Are we
Yeah.
getting into
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, that's it. That was my segue to it. Yep. Go ahead.
Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
ambiance matters.
Mm-hmm.
Um Jumbo is bigger. Purple Rose is even bigger. Here's the thing. Location matters.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you will have the most smallest place be always packed because of the location. And we know for our community, location matters. As somebody who used to have own an event hall business, I had a nice event hall in Chaska, right? And I mean, there's a bar in there. I had a room for the bride and people to go get dressed, a state of the art dance floor with the disco lights, everything. I mean, you can think about in that space, I could hold about 300, 400 people. Like I've packed the hall at some point. Location. It was all the way in Chaska. So I couldn't keep it, booked in order to keep that event hall. So I had to let it go. Since letting that event hall and looking for another space, and a space to move into a space like what I had in Chaska is hard to come by, right? To be the right size. It had the bar, it had a full kitchen for catering, and everything was involved in there. I had space to keep, chairs, table chairs, decoration items, and everything for it as an event planner. That place was big. You're talking about almost 5,000 square feet of space that was already built out and ready to go. And so that can be expensive to find something like that in the Twin Cities area, right? And that's some of the problem that he was facing. Location was important. This owner, he had a place back downtown years ago, before we were seeing African Club in downtown, right? And it wasn't successful. So for him, and mind you, he owns Afro Deli, not Afro Deli, but the African grocery store next to Afro Deli in Brooklyn Center, and then he has another grocery store / deli in New Hope. And what he was trying to, what made him to say, okay, I can go into the restaurant / nightclub business now because of the success of his New Hope space, but recognizing that the deli couldn't turn into a lounge, right? It was too much of it was grocery store and zoning. So zoning is a thing in Brooklyn Park where we're not even open. He was really lucky. Like, you literally have to say you're doing a restaurant, right, before you can even turn it into a lounge, right? The legal registration, I'm sure, for all of these businesses it sits under restaurant. They don't even really sit under nightclub. But because they
So,
have that leeway and flexibility when it comes to restaurant, that's why they're being looked at as lounges and nightclubs.
so City Hall, Broken Park City Hall, over large immigrant community, over huge immigrant community, is restricting having a lounge and nightclubs. There's restriction in City Hall.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
My girl Bernice, what are you going to do about it when you get to Bernice Cooper? What are you
Exactly.
going to do? What are you going
Exactly.
to What are you going to do about that when you get there? Because there should be no way. There are a lot of empty buildings in Broken Park. There's a CVS right there, right? There's the Foods right there. There are a lot of empty buildings, and because of, to your point, because of the restrictive city hall laws, right? So a lot of the empty spots, no one's allowed to take them because of so-called zoning. So people are not allowed to take them to turn it into a lounge or a nightclub because there are a lot of these, as I said, a lot of spaces in Broken Park, a lot of empty
Nowhere,
buildings in
none
Broken
of
Park
these
that could
suburbs have
easily.
yeah, none of these suburbs are going to have a nightclub. Downtown Minneapolis, nightclub. None of these suburbs is going to be under the nightclub jurisdiction. They're all restaurants. They're all restaurants because
Then the city,
restaurant
then
has
the
a lot
city,
of flexibility.
then the city ordinance needs to be updated. I mean, in this day and age, you know,
You have the
I mean,
ordinance. City council, because so suburban cities, they like this. You only come here to go to sleep. Yeah, they want you to just
broken,
come here and go to sleep. They
broken,
think
back.
about crime when they think about nightclubs. It has such a bad connotation to them that none of these suburban cities want to approve nightclubs. They will approve a restaurant. And what happens with the restaurant, nobody restricts how late you stay open. So what happens is you can make your restaurant into a lounge. Nobody's restricting how late you can stay open, and you're allowed to serve liquor. And it's easier to get a liquor license under the restaurant zoning code than to get a liquor license under nightclub zoning code. You have to have security. You have to have security in order to get a nightclub zoning permit. And in order to get that liquor license, you're gonna have to have 24/7 security. So there's different things you have to put in place to get that nightclub permit and get a liquor license. So it's easier to fall under that restaurant. And because you're under that restaurant, then again, that limits where you can be too.
So let me ask this then. I mean, for clarification for my own education here, where that CVA is, where across from Dragon, or where the coffee is, if someone want to open a restaurant and they're not allowed to do that.
You can open a restaurant. Mad Jack's is there. Mad Jack's operates as a restaurant, but like you said, Mad Jack stays busy. Mad Jack stays open till 3 a.m. in the morning, but it's a restaurant. It's
No,
not a
no. So
nightclub.
So let's stick to the restaurant. That's what I'm saying. Let's stick to the restaurant. But I buy that. Okay,
Oh,
I'll give them that.
CVS.
Yeah,
CVS is own CVS is not licensing their place. They're not renting or leasing their spaces to restaurant. And plus, mind you, the things you have to put into the space to create a restaurant, just the hood for the restaurant, just to pass and get approved. That's why it took him a year to get all the approval, city permitting, allowing things to happen.
you have the wrong you have the wrong people in City Hall. They are the one is like yeah, I'm telling you again, folks. I know you know when you come here Monday through Friday and listen to us. I mean, to me, I'm passionate about civic participation. About what we're talking entertainment here, but they are restricting how and where you can have entertainment venues in these various cities, which is like, and our people give or take, right? Most people, even me to this day, I don't like to really battle with downtown, right? It's like there are a lot of spots downtown, but if I live in Maple Grove, and when you have a downtown, sometimes the shooting, the stuff, I'd rather be right here in my Broken Park or Broken Center, easy to drive home. Even when I drink, I don't even want to battle with I-94, right? That's a long distance for me to cover. I will have to pass through 4 or 5 cities just to get to my place. Before then, I might, cops, everywhere. I mean, and things like that. But so I'd rather go to Broken Center or Broken Park, do my thing and come back and, and relax. So when we talk about civic participation, where we need to get involved, we need to put people like Bernice, in these or people that look like us in these spaces, so they can know what the community needs. You know, Brooklyn is a vibrant city.
Yeah.
Honestly, you don't have to put. I'm not saying you should put a restaurant in every. There's no way you can put a restaurant in every where people's, where houses are and all those stuff. No, but there are a lot of commercial spaces where these lounges or restaurant needs to be there, but it's being restricted, right? Like the time you're talking about Casa Free Choco, yeah, just to obtain all of the necessary license.
Yep.
Why? For what? You know what I mean? Things like that. So it's too much.
Yeah.
It's too much. So it's like that's why we don't have. That's why maybe even Jumbo. I mean, they were lucky they got that place, and I think they're ever going to leave that place because to get another venue like that, it's gonna be
And,
difficult.
and it's been tough for her. You know the difference between Jumbo and other people places. She owns it. So when you own your building, it helps. She owns that building. But there are
Mm.
times when if it was up to the city, they would have put pressure on her landlord and her lease would have been ended. But because she owns it, it's like they have to. And she's tried to purchase other things. And that's the thing. It's like they shut her down. She wanted to purchase something bigger and relocate her space because she's outgrown Jumbo. Like you said, Jumbo is popping. Everybody loves Jumbo, but it gets too packed, right? And she wanted to buy something bigger, but the city wouldn't allow her to do that. And
You have
they
the
can
wrong people.
decide, yeah,
You have the wrong people in City Hall, folks. Go run for this local. Bernice Cooper.
that's why
You
we're
know,
working
even
on it. Yep.
even though you're a Democrat, I'm gonna make sure we support you so you can get to City Hall, so you can make some changes, right? So you can actually represent the African immigrant community, because people love to come out, and there places are there, right? As I said, nothing against Casa Free, but just man, that place is too tight, Miss B. It's too
It's
tight.
small.
I think
It's
I
small.
think he had the right idea, right? Is new, the location is not bad, but the place is just tight. Now you kind of are providing education here tonight, where in like is because of the restrictive policies or ordinances that is I mean the city put upon these establishments. That's
Yep.
what makes it difficult to actually get a place, because I'm wondering to myself,
Should have
there are a
went
lot of.
across the street to Plush, the
Mhm.
African American owned spot, and they're facing the same problem. They've outgrown their space. It's small, and their crowd is literally too much
Because
for the
here's the
crowd.
thing, right? Here's the thing: the northern suburbs, right, is diverse. You know, people, a lot of people don't want to go downtown. Downtown have their own
No.
crowd.
Don't want to pay
Okay.
for parking. Half the time you don't know where to park because they say no parking everywhere. I'm like, where do they want you to park? And then you're getting towed or you're getting ticketed. So many
Yeah.
problems with downtown. Like I hear Mayor Fry and them are keep trying to let people come back downtown, but it's like I don't want to pay for parking. Half the times I don't want to park in the parking ramps, to be honest. It's too far from the business, and I'm cute, I'm dressed up. I don't want to have to walk a long distance to the entrance. So you have to think about all of those things. And that's why you're going to see our suburban lounges are getting more and more crowded and more people. Even though you felt Casa Africa is small, was it packed?
Oh yeah, they had that crowd. I mean, but you can put 10 people in there will be packed, Miss B. So that's not. I don't got. I don't.
But that's
I'm
the
not
thing.
going to. I'm not
Regardless
going to
of
put
the
up park.
size,
You can
people
put
don't
10 people
care
in
how
there.
packed it
You can,
is. It
you
was
can put.
worse on the grand opening. I'm telling you, it was worse on the grand opening.
But hey, you can put 10 people in there and it will be packed. So that's
And
what
he's
I'm
making
saying. So
money. He's making money because a table is like $500, $700 just for a table. And you're
but
only and you're in there if you're buying a table.
what those little tables you were selling them for 500 or the two VIPs pack you were selling them for
No,
500.
the
What?
VIP price was probably more. The tables,
Okay. Look,
tables,
nothing. As I said, right? I love business. I love people who like to go in the business. I appreciate entrepreneurs. We have a special segment here every Wednesday for finance and business. So I promote business. But I'm just saying, right? This part, and nothing against his business, right? I think he's doing a great thing. Kudos to him as an entrepreneur trying to break through and things like that. I just feel that the place is too tight. It's like a zin
yeah.
zin to me. You know what I
He's
mean? It's like
gonna
a
be there for a
it's,
while. That's
it's
Jin
like
Jin. I'm sure he's paying like $5,000, $6,000 a month for rent,
a,
even though it's small. We commercial retail is expensive. You know, as a landlord, I know it's expensive. And but he's new. He's probably maybe signed a 3 to 5 year lease, and he's trying to expand outside to build a patio outside because he knows the place is small already. He's outgrown the space, but he's going to probably be there until his lease expires. Maybe he's looking for a new location, but to find a new location, that's a prime location. Outside of the space being small, you got 610, you got 85th, 252. Then you got from people
I
can come
agree
from
with the
St.
location.
Paul.
I agree with the location. Nothing against it.
Yeah,
Nothing. Even when I went there, I said, "Whoa, yeah, there's a good location, right?" Because we're within our vicinity. There are a lot of place like people. It's a walking distance from a lot of where folks live, right? I
yeah,
mean, it's like not even driving distance, walking distance. Where a lot of folks, I can just walk across the street, and go have fun. But again, right to me, it's just a size. But now, like, yeah, provided some context here tonight, where in like some of the reason why they have maybe the reason why his part is tight, or the reason why even like the Jumbo haven't been able to expand is because the city is not allowing places like this to open within their there's within their cities, things like that. It's not
yeah,
only Broken Center, like the Broken Center have lots and lots of spaces, right?
yeah.
You go to that whole corridor where the mall used to be, where Walmart, used to be.
The
Now I think
landlords are
it's
fine.
an Asian
They
space.
want to, yeah, they want to rent
Yeah.
their space, but you have to get the city permit. You have to get city council permission in order to open these businesses.
That's why we have committed ourselves on the Inner Circle
Yeah.
podcast. We here, right, to folks get involved in politics. I always tell you, y'all
Yes.
come. We African immigrants, we say, oh, we don't get involved, especially these local elections. The city council don't
Yes.
overlook it. The legislature don't overlook it. These commissioners, the one there is like the county commissioner, don't overlook them. Those are the ones that can raise your taxes, and they have
Yes.
billions of dollars
Yes.
to be spreading around. Hennepin County right now is in trouble because the county doesn't. The county is saying because Hennepin County is on life support, folks. Hennepin County Medical Center (HCMC) is on life
Yep.
support because
Yep.
a lot of, I don't want to say poor people, a lot of
Just
you know
say the county hospital is facing being closed. They don't
yes,
have
it's,
money
you know
because
be-
the community that goes there can't afford
or they don't have
medical
insurance.
services.
Yeah, the
They don't have
uninsured, a lot of
insurance.
uninsured people
A
go
lot of
there.
uninsured people go there. And when you're uninsured, that's one thing about Minnesota. We don't refuse anybody from getting medical services in this state,
Yeah.
insured or uninsured. And unfortunately, everybody goes to the public ACMC. And the fact that, well, I think the county budget is in the billions, but ACMC
Now
downtown
that you think
Minneapolis
it is
goes,
in the billions. The county
yeah,
budget
I don't know how
is
many
in
billions, but it's in the
billions.
billions. Yep.
Okay.
And that's just
You
one
know,
county in the state of Minnesota. Yeah, I think their
and,
budget is
and,
about 2 billion.
and it's the largest county. Anyway, Hennepin County is the largest county in the state. You know
It
what I
is.
mean, and things like that. But These counties, man. So my point is, these look and isn't and that's what elected. Those are county commissioner are elected positions.
And pays two
No-
hundred plus $1,000 a year.
And people be here looking for jobs. Folks, get involved in politics because these people are determining
County commissioners, they make more than representatives, and they stay in those seats for a long time because people don't pay attention to the counties.
who pay attention. No one, no one,
Nobody's
no.
paying attention. Nobody's paying
You know
attention.
that anything about it, right? Like I met Jeff Lundy. I've been trying to get him here. I've been trying to get him. I've been in
Commissioner
communication
Lundy.
with. Yeah, yeah, yeah. To try to get him on here. But here's the thing, though. When you go vote, these county commissioner, no one competing against them. No one running
No,
against them. You want to
no.
okay? So it's like
They
it's
go
all white ballot.
uncontested. They
Yeah,
just nobody's paying attention. Yeah, those are one of the highest paying seats in the state.
and they make important
Oh
decisions.
yeah. They're
You
the
know,
ones that are
even
going to decide if we get this light rail. The county is building the light rail. They're building the train that's coming down from Minneapolis all the way to Brooklyn Park and back. They're building the train. That project is almost at $5 billion now. The Federal Transit Administration is going to give half, and the county is going to give the other half.
yeah. Folks, tonight we are discussing from hype to reality what really makes an entertainment venue successful. But as we are learning, right, sometimes it's not only the venue being successful, but the venues are, let the venue open first. You know what I mean? And for the venue to open, the city has to allow it, and that's what I've learned. I mean, for me, let me tell you this, right? I think it's a new information for me. I mean, every time I learn something new, you as a non-profit person, very, very involved in the community, very involved at the local level. So you have this information, you provide it to our folks here and things like that, right? It's like so the reality is we need to really, really, really get involved, because even the owner of the CEO or the owner of what else our market, he mentioned the same thing. It
Yeah.
took him years just to get all of his
Yep.
permits for him to open his establishment. Why
Mhm.
is it so difficult? For businesses, our businesses, the kind of business that we want to do, it's so difficult to get permission from City Hall. It has nothing to do with the state. The state is not even involved in these things. Liquor
Nope.
license, I learned, liquor license is a
It's
city,
a
it's
city
at a city
council
level.
from city to city. Yes.
It's at a city level.
And it's not
So
about being expensive. It's them approving it. And
that's it. That's a
not
process.
many black
You know,
people are approved liquor license holders here in this state.
because we sitting on the sidelines. And so the people say, the people not serious. you know, the people are not serious, right? The people are not serious. So they don't want to participate, right? We cry for representation. But representation only goes so far.
Yeah.
Where is the participation? When we participate, right, to get our people on city council, to get our people as county commissioners, then they will start seeking our interest. The library you're talking about has taken forever. And guess
Yeah.
what? I know the reason why it's taken forever because where's the library coming? It's coming to a
Target
majority,
campus.
not only Target, the majority is dominant. I mean, it's passing through Westboro with North
Yeah.
Minneapolis, Robbinsdale. Those are majority immigrant or minority cities.
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
You're
So
right.
it could be one of the reasons why it's taking
It's
forever.
exactly the reason because
Is it?
Eden Perry had
Yeah,
no
I was just,
problems getting a light
yeah.
rail. Yeah,
And that was it. And,
Southwest
it, and the Eden
had no
Prairie
problem being built.
and the Southwestern was even more expensive.
More expensive. And honestly, our light rail, because we're in this area, our light rail was supposed to happen first. Our light
So
rail,
how
and
did it? I mean, so how did the Southwest one happen?
the politics of it.
Because
The
is
politics of
where
it. Because at first they thought, oh, this is going to impact businesses, it's going to impact homes, it's going to bring negative traffic to our city. But then when they got educated, and that's some of the things that as we too, as communities of color, are not fully educated about the profitability. In the first year when light rail is built, your property value goes up 44% just in year one. The value of your property just from being light rail. Because why? It's driving traffic. Every business corridor, the economics of your city, when you have an influx of people coming in and out of your city, is driving the economy in your city and is making you guys to flourish. When Eden Perry looked at all of that, it was like, oh yes, we want this. And the politics came together to make it happen.
yeah, I mean, that stuff is almost finished. I mean, it's like if you and it was more contentious, you know, a lot of, because the look where it is passing through a lot of, you know, great places in Minneapolis, but they still made it happen. You
Yeah.
know, they still made it happen. You know, and for you guys, it's taking is that blue line ever gonna happen though? Because that stuff has taken
If I do nothing in
forever.
my career, if I do nothing, because everybody, they can joke like Denise is the baby of this light rail. If I do nothing, I'm going to get that light rail to be built. I've been
Okay.
for the last 13 years of my life, I've been spent on this light rail, this blue line, this LRT, from engagement to fundraising to every which avenue you can think about. It's why we have the Brooklyn Park Business Center now, because of that light rail that's supposed to be coming, right? And so it's going to happen. It's going to happen. And like we're talking about the light rail, right? It once it gets built, the businesses and everybody is going to be thriving, and we don't want us to miss out on this opportunity. Like right now, where the Cup Foods is vacant. We should be allowed to go there, purchase that, and cut it up into. Cup Foods don't have a problem with buying it, but then the city has to, now you have to, before you purchase something, and I tell people all the time, before you sign a lease, go to make sure city council will approve of that business being there. Because what happens once you're in that lease, the landlord's not going to let you out, and you'll be responsible for something you can't operate out of.
Yeah. Yep.
So
Yep.
your event center, um, and even when you're in an event center, what I would encourage you to do is be a restaurant, because technically, to be a restaurant, you only need to be open 1 or 2 days a week. And here it is now, you'll be an
Mm.
event center and you'll be a restaurant, right? So people who are looking to open restaurant business, to those two things go hand in hand. When I think about people having birthday dinners, right? When they go to a restaurant, they always want to go to a separate venue within the restaurant. Most restaurants, like well-established restaurants, will have a separate space to entertain up to 80 guests in the restaurant, right? And so that way you
Mhm.
become one-stop shop. Now you can do your event business, and your event business can also, your restaurant can cater to the event business, right? And that way it'll
Yeah.
keep your restaurant sales going too. So, because I know sometimes in a year our restaurants struggle, but if you have a restaurant that has an event venue attached to it, in the holidays when people are still having events, your restaurant can still be making money.
Yeah, yeah. Well, folks, tonight we are discussing from hype to reality what really makes an entertainment venue successful. To me, size matters. You know, marketing. I mean, I think he did a good marketing. Now you're talking like, you know, permitting matters, right? Because to get a good spot, permitting matters. You know,
Permitting,
and things like that.
licensing, yep.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, licensing, permitting. I mean, all of those things matters. So maybe that's why Jambo have outgrown, but they can't move because
Yeah.
they cannot get a space, right?
No.
Maybe that's why even because one of the limitation for purple rules, right? The lounge is different from the hookah spot.
Yes.
Okay, and I'm wondering to myself, why would I want to, if you can, and you can't take alcohol to the hookah joint, you know, you can bring hookah to the what to the, I mean, to the place. Like, why would you separate those two?
I've
Right?
never
I know.
been on the hookah side. Does it be packed on the hookah side?
Well, those who love that hookah,
I will check it out one day and see if it's, because then I'm thinking, like, as a business owner, what is
it's,
the incentive of keeping
it's it's
the
so
hookah
weird. I don't know
area?
whether they still have the hookah spot, but it's so weird, right? And you go to the hookah spot, no music, no knock. You just they just sit there and talk with them. I don't know whether they still have it. I think they still do
Yeah,
because hookah
because
is.
here's the thing, because
Mm,
of Minnesota, that one is a state. We don't allow indoor smoking because we passed the Clean Indoor Air Act, right? And so how they allow a hookah to operate is that it can't be in a place where technically it should be outside. Like Jumbo is outside. That's why she has that back patio, right? That's where it's supposed to be. But because a restaurant and hookah lounge cannot operate in the same space together. So because the Purple Rose Lounge has a restaurant in there and food is being served, he had to separate the hookah side, because per health department laws, they cannot operate in the same space. So that's why it has to be separated.
oh, hello, have you been to Jambo? Okay, I was just leave, I was just leaving at that. But oh, that's a state thing, though. I mean, that's a state thing.
That's a state law.
Okay.
And
Okay.
that's why Jambo has her hookah outside on the patio, because
Okay.
legally you are only supposed to have hookah in a separate space.
Okay.
If you're gonna have a hookah being done at a restaurant, it needs to be done outside in the patio. You cannot have hookah indoors mixing with the food. No.
Mm-hmm. I didn't know. I mean, they need to change that though, because if you go anywhere in the South, everything is together. The restaurant, the only, I mean, everywhere is different. Everywhere is
Yeah, every
different, but
state is different. Honestly, like I said, it's only due to the fact that we passed that Clean Indoor Air Act, because secondhand smoking is very harmful. So I wouldn't want them to reverse that. I'm gonna say just stick to that.
oh, that's the
My
one thing you don't want to do. Oh, that's the
no,
one you don't want to do reverse.
no, my lungs are precious. I get it. I don't know how is it that the people who smoking it not getting it as bad as me who not smoking it, but it says secondhand smoking is worse than the people who actually smoke. And so because of that, let them separate. Or, just find a location that can allow outside, hookah to be happening. But
And
don't
to
mix it
find
with
out,
the indoor people.
though, that again, that could be one of the, because okay, so yes, I mean, let me stick to the proper rules one a little bit, right? There's two different spots. Meaning, I mean, and they open out a strip mall. So obviously, where they have the lounge, on one side, and the hookah lounge on another side. But to your point, maybe they could have just found a space where, in like, there's a patio outside, but again, I mean, they opened a joint in Crystal. Maybe they couldn't find any space, right? They couldn't find anywhere to, I mean, to do that. Again, right? There's too many restrictions. It's like around this thing, the city, is restricting, what you should open, what shouldn't be open, and things like that. And so, even though, as I said, right, a lot of spaces available, but you have to get permitting, you have to get, all of the necessary documentation. And so, I mean, the reality is, people want to open these joints. People have the resources or the money that they want to open it, or they want to expand, but it's just, especially when it comes to entertainment, though, that's what people love. If it was that easy, Miss B, I think a lot of people would get into that.
It'll be
I
like
mean, a
that
lot of,
every 2 minutes you see a spot.
yeah, a lot of people get into that space, but now that I'm learning tonight that it takes a lot. It takes a lot
It's
to get
not.
into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because I'm in city council. So I think we need to focus on city. We need to focus on city council, city commissioners,
city
state
council.
legislatures. We need to get in these spaces, right? To to start making it, because man, the entire broken part is becoming, I mean, not even becoming, is I mean, the police chief said 1 in 5 residents
Yep,
are foreign born in Broken Park.
yep, yep,
Forget about the African American that live there, the typical
yeah,
African American, or the Latinos, or the monk. But what I mean? So, but 1 in 5 is foreign born. You know,
yeah.
so it's crazy. It's crazy, 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 man. And then, so, but what else go into opening like a spot like that though, right? I mean, it's like we didn't stay much to listen to the DJ, because it says like the place was too tight, so we didn't really take a lot of time there. But the reason why a lot of people like when we got to Jambo on Saturday, because of Ghana Independence Weekend. First of all, first Ghana Independence Weekend was on Friday,
Hmm.
so obviously they had a whole weekend to party. So Saturday, Jambo had a special, for the Ghanaian. Shout out to all my Ghanaian folks. Shout out to Andrea. I know you guys. Ghana will love to party. So they were playing all of these Ghanaian music, right? Because I mean, Ghana have a lot of hits. All of these Ghanaian music. That's the unique thing about
I
Jambo,
think
right? The
Edmund,
DJs,
one of the partners, is Ghanaian. Yes.
no, no, he's a Sierra Leonean.
Oh yeah, you're right. He's not
He's a
Ghanaian.
Sierra Leonean. Yeah, he's I know Edmond or whoever he is. Yeah, he's,
Yeah,
he's a Sierra
Edmund.
Leonean. Yeah, Edmond is a Sierra Leonean. So, but he knows. I mean, he knows how to draw the crowd. He knows how to entertain people. He's a hype man, and
He
things
is.
like that. So he's a great hype man. But they had that stuff where, in like, they were shout out to Ghanaian. They were playing Ghanaian music. Do a lot of people recognize, like, knowing your crowd, knowing your audience, and things like that? Right? I didn't stay at Casa Afrique long to listen to the DJ, right? But that's the thing. That's what separates Jambo from most of them around here.
Jumbo plays everybody. Like they play all genre. They
They
play.
do.
They
That's what I'm
can
saying.
play.
They do. They do.
They play. Yeah, they play hip hop. They play Afro beats. They play everybody. Jumbo knows their crowd.
They
Jumbo
do.
knows their crowd. I think the missing middle here is that age 35 and up, right? That doesn't want a jumbo but still wants to go out. And so that crowd is still sitting at home. Nobody wants to cater to that crowd, but Jumbo knows their crowd. I think
So
it's important.
for that crowd again, I'll come back to get that crowd out because you're not going to have them to come and party. To get that crowd out, just open like a spot like Mike Jack,
There you go.
a bar. Just open up. You don't need a lounge or whatever for that crowd. You need like a Mac Jack or what we used to have blondies. You remember how blondie used to be popping? You know, we used to be
Yes,
packed.
but what
You,
happens is when you have a place like a Mac Jack, it turns young for some reason. The young people like to be under the old people to an extent. Yeah, because they unless you go there and the DJ just sticks to old school, like I'm not gonna play none of the new young hip things, and then maybe you'll be able to keep that crowd. But yeah, that is the missing middle, right? When it comes to lounges and entertainment spot is like that 35 to 55. I'm not even gonna stop at 55 because when I go out of state to like my dad and them, and my dad is gonna be 74 this year. Him and his siblings, they'd be going out with us. Of course, they'll go out with us to the club, but then when they get there, be like, this music, this music, this music. They want to hear their music. And so that's to show you, like, older people want to still be out, but it's like they can't get that right environment for them. And so they continue to stay home. I think, the day I open a little spot, maybe that's the crowd I'm going to target and see.
well, the thing about it, right? The thing about it though, the risks of targeting such a crowd, they don't come out every weekend, Miss B. They don't come out every weekend.
Give them
They
one
come out.
night, maybe.
They come out. They come out once, maybe twice a year or once a year. When it comes to entertainment, right, is that the young people are what makes entertainment go because for some reason they don't have the deepest of pockets,
I'm
but
about
they're
to say, they don't
available.
have no money, but they be out every
But they are
weekend.
available every week. They are out
I'm
every
like,
weekend. So every entertainment spot, whether a Caucasian venue, African American venue, Latino venue, the young people keep it popping. In every city you go, the young
yes,
people because they love to go out every weekend,
go
and so
to
you know,
Mitos. Mitos always busy. That's a Latino spot in Roseville.
mm,
Always busy. Yes, it's a
because
nice spot too.
oh yeah, I mean, it's like the entertainment scene in Minnesota has grown over the years I have been here. You know, a lot of establishment, a lot of especially immigrant-owned establishment, a lot of venues have opened. The only thing, even downtown now you have those different establishment, different venues, different clubs and things like that. It's mixed. It's not only like first it used to be all Caucasian. You know, what I mean, how they used to have African music, anything like that. Now you go to now there are specific spots in downtown that are doing that. But people, as I said again, people want to stay close to where they are. People
Yeah.
want to stay close to where they are. I mean, if I, yeah, I mean, they don't want to go other places and things like that. So that's why these venues opening because right now, even in the northwest suburbs or in the Broken Park, Crystal, Broken Center, counting Casa Afrique, and then the African American joint you talk about. I think we talked about it last time. A lot of it's about six lounges, I mean, entertainment venues now within the
5 minutes
vicinity.
of each other. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, very, very close, very, very close. But what separates them again is like the DJs, the food. Does
The
Casa Afrique
DJ.
does
Casa
us? I
Afrique
mean, does
has
Casa
food.
Afrique does food? Okay.
They have food, but I don't think their food. I don't think food is their main point. Here's two things.
So what are they?
There's ambiance. People love aesthetics. Like they like.
Make
We're
that
living
make
in
sense.
that
What
TikTok.
okay? What's your definition of ambience down there? Because I go there and
We're
say number
living
one,
in a TikTok
the people
type.
are the people are so tired of me. I didn't even pay attention to,
You didn't get to pay
to
attention.
nothing else. Okay, yeah. So tell
Sometimes
me.
you're a guy. That's not what you came out for, right? So for me, what it needs is that it's gonna be aesthetics, ambiance, right? Like how the place is decorated, how it's laid out, right? We're living in a digital age where I don't know why people bother to leave their house, but they do because they be in the phone the whole night. And so from the moment they get in there, they're snapping, they're going on Instagram, they're taking their pictures, right? So that's important to them. Second thing is DJs. What happens is the guys are going to drink the whole night. That's what they do. And the girls are going to dance and drink. So if you have a good DJ and you can keep those women dancing, those who drink, for every song, they're going to want to have a drink in their hand. So that's how come you're selling even more drinks to women than you end up selling to men. That's the reality. So that's how your space can be more successful. Women in a vibrant place, for some reason, the more vibrant the place is, the better the music is, the more alcohol they're going to consume. And
Okay,
that's what
but
makes your successful.
Casa Afri has nowhere to dance though.
Trust and believe. He didn't have much dance space, but I
Not
was
more,
into it. I did
there's
not
no
sit
dance
down the
space.
whole night. I did not sit down the whole night.
Where were you
I was
dancing, Miss
dancing
B?
right in, I was doing my two-step right in my low spot. Yes. Right in my
You
low
know,
spot.
oh, right in your
Yes.
little spot.
Right
Okay,
in my low
okay.
spot. I found my
Yeah.
piece of floor and I stuck to it.
Yeah, I mean, I said I did. I when we're not there long to listen to the DJ. Obviously, they play what they, I said. You can put 10 people in there and still look packed. So that one, I'm not going to say whether it was crowded, it was packed and stuff like that, right? Because I mean, the place again, the place is very tight. Hopefully, maybe he can find a bigger
More
space.
than 10.
Hmm?
Don't kill my boy's spot. It can hold more than 10 people. Go and check it out. Go and
Have you,
experience it for yourself.
anyone, if you ever been to Zinzin, right? That's probably look like
That
Zinzin.
place is bigger than Jinjin. You need to stop. Jinjin is literally carry out. There's not even like
But that's
there's
not,
like two
Miss
tables
B,
there.
that's not the place. That's not the place
No,
looks to me like a
no.
carry out
He
spot.
has a full bar
As a where are
and
we?
seating and
Is
everything.
this a carry out joint? You know what I mean? But shout out, I mean, the fact that right is like he had the courage to open something, right? Is that as a business person, again, when it comes to his
Congratulations.
business savvy as an entrepreneur, I congratulate him for that. And it is not his fault. I'm not saying it's his fault. The fact that he has a very tight spot. Maybe it was I mean, is that the condition he was given, right? There's no way he can get a bigger place because number one, the bigger place might be expensive, and then the city is not allowed to give him the necessary permits and things like that. So it's no means by his fault. And you have educated me on that tonight. You know, the reason why maybe he couldn't get the kind of venue or the kind of spot he needed because City Hall, there are roadblocks at City Hall. And
Yeah.
for us to make a difference in this place, we need to tackle some of these roadblocks in City Hall, at the at the state legislature, at these county commissioners. We need to tackle those roadblocks. And the only way we can tackle those roadblocks, we need to get in there. We need to put people in there. And that's the mission we need to have. I mean, Inner Circle have kind of committed ourselves to that mission. But we need to educate people, right? Again, tomorrow that's going to be our focus. We can't just say representation. We can't just say people they don't want to give up. When we, it's like you guys always say, if you are not part of the menu, if you are not on the table, right? If you're not
You're
part
not
of the
at
table,
the table, you're on the menu.
okay. And my
And when you're
man,
on the menu, you're just an option.
exactly. And my man Erickson like to say, right? If you say you don't like politics or you don't mess with politics is going to mess with you. And
Yes.
that's what's happening. It's messing with us because things that we want to do, things that's going to make us vibrant, that's going to make our community grow, is being restricted. You know that even a hall means you don't even have a hall in a community.
Mm-mm.
You don't have a to like for to rent a venue to rent a spot, and you got all these empty spaces. I'm wondering if you go there to rent it. I mean, the city might say no, we don't allow. I
So
mean, an
that
event hall.
one, that one is landlord. The city doesn't prevent event halls. The landlords are not allowing event halls. And I know, we
Why?
don't
Because they allow the warehouses. You could take a warehouse and turn it into an event hall. Why?
because I don't know why folks, landlords don't like event hall. This is the thing. Landlord feels like the event hall does not drive the type of traffic that a retail place wants to see. So like sometimes people have different things in their leases, like clauses too for the landlord sometimes that'll say, I'm going to lease this place. I'll even lease it from you at a higher rate at a longer term if you don't allow XYZ type of business to come here. So it could be that the landlord has some big box tenants or, a high paying tenant that has put in some clauses, negotiated some things with the landlord to say what they don't want to see. Other business like to see businesses that are operating every day on set hours to be around those type of businesses. And so to help drive traffic to their business as well. So sometimes that could be some of the bureaucracy behind it. It could be, and this is how the city could help and say, okay, as a landlord, maybe we'll say you can't be too restrictive with your space. The city can do that. They can say, you know what, for this area, you have to allow a minimum of maybe one or two type of business here. And then if there's no vacancy, then okay, the landlord can argue I have no vacancy. But if you have clear vacancy and I want a lease from you and the city has put this zoning ordinance in place, now I can go to the city and say, hey, this business owner is being discriminatory. I've tried to lease from them and they continue to tell me, say, oh, I cannot occupy this. Nobody wants to have to do that because you want to have a good relationship with your landlord. But those are some of the ways in which we can help. I don't know Minneapolis, man. You can open an event hall. Just find the space. You'll be able to open the event hall in Minneapolis any day. There's a lot of event halls in Minneapolis. Again, suburbia, not so many.
Okay, okay. Well, fuck this is a 1 hour show. Great entertainment segment tonight, and we're already at the top of the hour. Great one. I mean, it's like shout
So
out to all
fast.
the yeah, yeah. Shout out to all the venues, man. Nothing against the guy. I was just wondering, like, from the hype to the reality. What goes into making an entertainment venue because folks want to go out every weekend. Sometimes you don't always go out, but when you go out, you want to have fun. You want a nice venue. You want a nice space. Things like that. So that's why we tackle this. But I did learn something I didn't know, right? City halls, man, city halls, it's blocking some of these, because Casa, I think maybe that he has something big in mind, but he just couldn't get the necessary get the spot he needed, and because of permitting or whatever. But great show tonight, Miss B. So as we wrap up here, what is it that you want to leave with our folks tonight?
Hey, again, come see me if you are an entrepreneur, if you own a business or you're looking to start a business. Come see me before you make that, critical decision on your location and where you're going to be, because I can help you figure that out. I want to see more of our businesses thriving, to show you that we have these many venues within 6 minutes away from each other, like you said, Abe, and they're all thriving in the midst of everything. I haven't heard any of our businesses gone out of our lounges go out of business yet or shut down in the midst of everything, right? And so there is money there, right? But you just got to do it right. So I
Yeah,
say come see me or go see somebody before you do any business.
obviously the
Venue.
community is. Yeah, yeah. Go ahead, go ahead. You done?
But before you open a venue, come see me or come see somebody or go see somebody.
Yeah. Maybe that's what you do the next time. Casa Freak, if you're trying to expand, go see the folks at Asa and go see Miss B. All these folks that are involved in this, making the community vibrant. But I think, to me, based on what I learned tonight, I think we should focus on City Hall, these county commissioners. Yeah, these cities are growing. Like a place like Broken Park, man, you know what I mean? And Broken Park is very close. Broken Park, Broken Center, those are two immigrant cities, and those are cities that are near and dear to the Liberian community, to the African, especially West African immigrant community, to the African immigrant community. We should be the only reason why we will be successful to change these cities the way we like them to be is to have representation. If we don't have folks representing us at these levels, we're going to struggle. We'll not have the kind of businesses we need. Because guess what? The Somali have a more in Minneapolis. The reason why the Somali have a more in Minneapolis is because they have representation. I remember
Yeah.
Abdi Wasami from Abdi Wasami. Now they are
Yep.
all in these state legislatures. They have their
Yep.
girl, Ihan Omar. They have
Yep.
representation. The northwest suburbs, you have a
Lord. I mean, the
yeah.
list goes on.
I mean, the northwest suburbs, you have some type of even like a West African mall because that's where this is where you have most of us. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I mean,
But
we could have a Main Street, right? Did you think
yeah,
about Festive Foods in that corridor? That could be our Main Street because across the street is where you have Dos Hermanos, the Mexican restaurant, which they have an outside patio and everything, right? You could just be easily walking, and then that bridge is there, the overpass
just
is there,
do
so you don't
just
even have
do
to worry about the freeway.
just do the entire Broken Boulevard, West African Main Street or African
Yeah,
Main Street.
there you go. We should have because Anoka continues to lobby and advocate for their Main Street because they know where their bread and butter is. Like I
Yeah.
told you, they passed legislation now for 2 summers in a row where they allow like you to carry liquor from spot to spot, open bottle from
So
spot to
Bernice will make sure that you get to city council, you get to that city hall. When you get there, don't turn against your people. Don't say when your people can't talk to you, don't we'll bring anyway, and Miss B and I working on doing a fundraiser for all of you guys. You know what I mean?
spot.
And things like that. We're gonna work out something so the community can what contribute to you people to make sure yes, when you go in there, man, you advocate for the community. That's what I'm saying. Advocate for the community. Let our type of businesses come through. Right. We need our type of businesses. So Well, anyway, that's the end of our show tonight. We'll be back here tomorrow. We're talking about what representation versus participation. We cry for
Yes.
representation, but representation will never happen without participation. And then Wednesday means we and I have a great guest, someone that's doing great. She have a consulting business. She consult for the state. I mean, it's we like for me anytime bringing entrepreneurs on this segment, it's great, right? So we have a great guest on Wednesday. She's great. This is that. So anyway, folks, that's the end of our show tonight. See you all back here tomorrow. Okay. Representation versus participation. Let's do it. Good night.
Good night, everyone.